going to discuss what is the bean life cycle of Spring Framework. So just in 30 seconds, let me explain what is the Spring Framework, and then you can move into the coding part. So Spring Framework is the mechanism by which they will make the life of the Java developer so easy. It provides a lot of frameworks like dependency injection, MVC, ORM, security, social, cloud, many more things, right? So it will help you to set up all the infrastructure common code that is required for the any big enterprise Java project. So developer can give the focus their coding part and let the Spring do other work, right? So what is the dependency injection? So I have already explained in my previous video. So I would recommend please visit the previous video. The link is coming up or in the description. You can see that, right? So suppose when you have the bank QRs and that card and the customer is depend upon the bank QR. So what you used to do in Java? You use the new keyword and create this object. But what is the problem here? It is the hard code, right? So whenever you want to change some from card 1 to card 2, card 3, every time you have to change the code. And the moment you change the code, you can see it looks a very tight coupling, means the moment you change the card, the functionality, you have to also come to the bank and change the code. And the testing is also tough because everything you have to test again if you change some code, right? So what is the solution for that? That we have to implement one design pattern that is called inversion of control, and through the dependency injection we can achieve it. Now you can see that I have the credit card and the customer. I am not going to use the new keyword here. Where the dependency injection to do this work. So how they will do? Now if you see here, the dependency injection will create the object on behalf of you and it will assign to you. So what is dependency injection? So in Java framework, we have the concept of the application context. They will make the IOC container and you have to give one configuration file, whether you have to explain which kind of the object you want, and accordingly they will create this object and give to you, right? And these are the benefit of the dependency injection. And this configuration file I was talking, so you have to give this all the information for your bean or object, how you want to create, and that we have the application context interface, and we have these implementation class by which they will create the container. In that container you have to pass this configuration file, and with the help of this configuration file, container will create the beans. That's why I want to know what is the life cycle of the bean, how they are going to create that, right? We will study it. So these are the different way to achieve the dependency injection. And last video I explained what is the bean scope, and this time I am going to talk what is the bean life cycle. So what happened that when you start the container, I will show in the code. When you start the container, they will initiate the bean and they will dependency injected. So whatever the dependency are there to create that bean, what bean you are asking, they will inject those dependency. I will explain you in the code, and they will call the init method. You no need to call the init method. Spring on behalf of you, they will create the init method, and then whatever you have custom object, you do it custom method, and at the end they will call the destroy method. So what is the init method and what is the destroy method, right? If you write the Java code, many time you might have encountered that you have to define some work before starting of the instances. Take the example of the JDBC or the database connectivity. In that case, what do? You initialize or the init method, you make all the code for database connectivity. Then in custom method, you do all the operation with database, and in destroy method, you disconnect the database connectivity, right? This is the actual benchmark working way, right? So Spring is saying, hey guys, you are the developer. You should not call the init method and destroy method. These are the mechanical work. Let me do on behalf of you. You give your focus on the custom method. So we are going to see in the code how you are going that, right? So we have the one initialization callback and the destruction callback. I says that callback means you give the method name, init method name and destroy method name, that Spring will call back those method. What method you will configure as the initializing method, as the destruction method. And we can achieve this life cycle with through the annotation, through the interface and through the XML. So let us go to the code and see that, right? So first we will create one new project from scratch. For our better understanding, go and create the Maven project from scratch. So this is create the Maven project. Give one group ID, anyone I can see, and I am giving here the Spring Bean life cycle and finish it. This is your code, and in the POM you have to add the dependency, right? So I have to add the two dependency actually for to get this code compatible for the Spring. So these are the two main dependency annotation and the Spring framework. These are the two important dependency, right? Now go to the code, and here how in the main Java make one package. So and make the di something dependency injection. Okay, for the understanding what I say, I am going to create one Java class. You give any name to understanding purpose. So suppose if I am giving the class name is log message, or you can give any name, right? And for the log message, just make one small Java class. So I'm not going to give anything bigger here. I just want one message, right? For the log message I want a message, and I want to make the setter getter here. So you can make the setter getter through the Eclipse. Easy way is there. Right click, source, and the generate the getter setter. Select all. So it will create the setter getter method, right? And you also create the two method. One is the init, one is the destroy. So you can give any name for this method. This is not necessary. You can give only the init name, but init is the standard name, so you can continue with the init name for this initialization method, or if you want you can change it, right? So now why I am do this, I will explain you. But before that we have to create one configuration file, as I explained, right? Where you make the configuration file, go to the resource, new, and I have to create one XML file, and give any name, whatever name you want, but I am giving the application context. You can give any name, right? And this is the place where you make the how to bean is created or not. So I would recommend please visit my previous video to understand the complete things. What is the purpose for this configuration file, right? So in configuration file, what I have to do, this is something standard that for the make the compatible for the Spring code, you have to add here, right? Anyhow, I will share this code to the LinkedIn, and I will give the detail in the descriptions, right? Okay, now I have to create the bin for this log message, right? So what I will do, I will create the bin method for this, right? And I have one property, right, the message. So what message should be there? So I can see anyone, I can see right, anything. That's it. I created this one, and now I have to define the bins, right? So this is the way we create the bin, and we create one demo class to execute all the complete code. So make one demo class, and they should have the public static void main. And demo class, first you have to make the, in the demo class, first you have to make the application context, that is the BinFactory, where they will create the bin with the help of your application context XML. So you have to import, yeah. So now we create the BinFactory, and BinFactory we create the bin with the help of the application context file. In the application context we have given the, I need one object of the log message, and the bin ID is the log, and the message is this one, right? So now just create the object, and we have already seen how to create the object in previous class, right? Previous previous video. So just you have to give the log message, object name, and the log, how this log is there, this is the same bin ID, right? And now this is the way we can create, and just run this method. So when this run this method, what happen? It is just, oh, get message is not there. Oh, this method is not there, get message. So we have to, get message is there, right? Get message is there. What happened? Get message, right? In get message, this message is there. Okay, I'm not passing as a, how I'm passing here? I'm passing as a property name message, right? So I'm passing as the property name message, then this message should become here. Demo class log get message is this one. Okay, okay. In the get message, I have to actually put the message here, right? So this is the way we have written the code. Anyhow, come to the void and call it again, so you will get this message here, and this message is coming. But you see, it is didn't call the init method and the destroy method, right? So what you have to do, you have to go the application context and say application context, hey configuration file, I have something init and destroy. So you have to take care for that. So here you have to add these two keyword, init method and the destroy method, and you have to pass the init method name. So my init method name is the log message is the init, and destroy method is the destroy, right? So you can give any name as I told you, and you can pass this name here. Now if you run it, go again, run it. I am not calling the init method, right? I am just calling my custom object. But you run it, what you see that you have the init method has been called. This is the init method. But still they have not called the destroy method, because to calling the destroy method, what you have to do, you have to call one, you have to register one shutdown hook method. What is the purpose for this shutdown hook method? you have to call this, and you have to add import here. Yeah, why this? Because you need to register a shutdown hook, register shutdown hook method that is declared on the on the abstract application context class, that will ensure a graceful shutdown. What is the meaning of the graceful shutdown? So suppose you are doing some operation here, the database operation, and your application is running. So this destroy method should not be called immediate, right? Otherwise it will disturb your custom method operation. So this destroy method should wait until unless you not finish all the work of your custom method. This destroy method should not be called. That's why I want to one graceful shutdown. That's why we have to register one shutdown hook. Now you run it. See what happened now. It is running the destroy method also, but I am not invoking any init method, any destroy method. It is coming through the Spring framework, right? This is the one way to implement that. Another way is to that, how to do that through the Java code also we can do that. Means you no need to inform to the configuration file, through the Java code only you can do that. So for that I will say just do this, copy sheet, control C, control V, make the another object class Java file 2, and here you implement to interface. Here you implement the to interface. Of course you have to take care for the import, both import, and one is saying that you are not you have to overload one method, right? So because go and add the overload method, add unimplemented method. So what happened in this case? This is your init method. This is your init method. This init method is not required. They have already given the name as using the interface, right? This is the another way to do that. And destroy method you can say you using interface, just to make the differentiate interface. And for the init method you can also just say the message that this is the init method through the interface, right? So we can understand from where it is coming. But for the this application, this log message 2, I am not going to inform anything to my application context configuration file. See, I am just creating the object of the log 2, log message 2, but I am not passing any init method here, right? You can see that. Why I didn't pass? Because this time init or destroy will be taken care by the initializing bin and the disposable bin, right? Now you run this method demo. So I have to make another demo class, or in the same demo I can do that, or let me make the another demo class demo 2, so everything would be the clear for you. Demo 2 application void main I need. In demo 2 this time I am not going to use the application context. If you see, I have commented out just for your information that I am not going to use the application context. Why? This this is the new configurable application context is being developed with the help of the application context, and they have added some new method, and we are going to use the new method here. So we have the refresh, we have the close, we have the shutdown, right? So now you create the bin of the log message 2 with the help of this. And last time we register the shutdown hook. This time no need to do. This time application configurable application context provide the close method. Now if you call this demo2, what happens? See, it is interface and it is shut down through the interface. Then from where it is coming? It is from the log message 1, because this is the life cycle of the bin. If you go here, even though you have not calling the log message 1, but as a process of the life cycle, they will create this object, and the moment they will create the object, they will call the init method and the destroy method of the log message also. So that's why if you go the log message, their init and destroy method is also being called here along with your log message 2, right? Along with the log message 2. This is the log message 2, right? And we have the third way, through the annotation also we can do that. So do one thing, again copy, Control C, Control V, and make the log message 3. And this time we are going to make the annotation, right? So what this time have to do that, you can make the, if you any method you can give the name init. And this time I'm not going, I'm sorry, I'm changing the log message 2. No, I go to the log message 3 and I do not need this interface. This is the third way to make the lifecycle check. Make the init method this one, okay? And this time just you have to say that through the annotation you can say this is my init method, and just you have to inform through the post constructor, right? After construct, right? And you have to import it, and for the destroy you have to use the pre-destroy, right? Before destroy this one, right? So if you don't like this one, put the init before the destroy, right? So yeah, so this time I'm not informing to the configuration file, I'm not using the interface, I'm using through the annotation. But for this annotation, what you have to do, as you are using the annotation, so you have to go the configuration file, and first you create the one bin for the log message 3, right? The way you used to do for the log 1 and the log 2, okay? And also you have to pass the one bin class as using the annotation here. So you have to add this one as you are using the annotation. So see, for the log message 3 there is no init, no destroy, okay? And also there is no interface in the log 3, right? And that, and just I am going to inform through the annotation. And now you just change through the annotation, so you can easily differentiate. Now create one demo 3, right? So let me create one, or again we can do the copy paste demo 3. If you come in the demo 3, I have to make the log 3, right? Right, now call this. See the, if you see here, we have the init method. This init method is coming from the first way of implementing the life cycle. This interface is coming through the second way, and this annotation is coming through the third way, and this is the custom methods, right? Okay, so this is the way we used to do that, to implement the life cycle things in the Spring. Please, I request you, please be kind and subscribe this channel. A lot of effort goes to make everything, right? I will post this code in the GitHub and share the link. Thank you very much.